We're being joined by Carlos Silva of WCSN, WCSN.com. Right now, Carlos, it looks like the sport of cycling and WCSN are kind of figuring each other out. And as you try to grow the network, it's really great to have cycling being a part of that. With the criterium coming up here on tomorrow night, certainly it's an exciting opportunity. Do you see it as the same way? Is this a test to see how live cycling does on WCSN?
Well, we've done a lot of live cycling from the international side. You know, the UCI Road Worlds is coming up. We did the Tour of Germany. We've got the BMX and cyclocross worlds. But we just did a race in Binghamton a couple of weeks ago, a criterium race, leading up to this Worlds, now the WCSM criterium race here. Super excited about it. The format's exciting, really fast-paced, and we think it'll work well live on WCSN and WCSN.com.
Yeah, and you know, so with people who maybe aren't familiar with the network, they're going to be soon. And I really look at, you know, what's been going on with the sport of cycling. It's been sort of hit and miss with different networks. But you guys really are making a commitment to it, aren't you?
Absolutely. We think all of the sports that we've got, it's important to have a full season for those sports and for the fans. You don't get to know the athletes if you don't have a full season. So by doing the criterium race in Binghamton, now here in Vegas, the UCI Road World Championships coming up in a couple of days, you know, we think we start to string them together and you'll get to know the riders and get to know the sport and really fall in love.
And I think that a lot of people who love watching cycling on the web or on TV maybe don't realize how complex it is to get the rights to events. How does that work? If I want to put the World Championships, the Road World Championship coming up from Stuttgart this weekend, do you negotiate with the UCI? Do you negotiate with the promoter? Where do you get the rights?
You know, we usually try to work directly with the federation. In some cases, those federations have worked with an agent and we'll work with their agents. In the case of these races that we're doing here in the States, there's some production that we contribute to, the sponsorship, and then certainly the people that are already producing it to put it all together.
And so, you know, we're talking a lot about the classic European events, and, you know, I wouldn't be too surprised, you tell me if I'm wrong, to see the Tour de France on WCSN at some point. But really, American racing is distinctly different as far as criterium racing goes. And right now, it really doesn't look like there's anyone besides WCSN that's covering that. Do you see yourself growing that kind of coverage, live, same-day criterium racing? I mean, it's a pretty unique opportunity you have right now.
We really think so. We think it's exciting. It's easy to produce because it's generally contained in terms of how big a geography you have to cover. It's fast-paced. There's interesting frames that happen that make it exciting during the race. And then you add it to things like the Tour of Missouri that we did live. You know, Hincapie won it, an international guy. You know, all of a sudden you've got a mix that people start to come to WCSN as a leader in cycling, you know, to add to our skiing that's coming up, you know, in a couple of months.
And it's interesting. It seems like WCSN is focusing on these Olympic sports that ultimately, when you're not on an Olympic year, that we don't hear much about. Is that your vision?
That's absolutely our vision. We want to be the Olympic-style sport and lifestyle destination in between the 17 days of the Games.
And so how does it work? If I go online now, do I need to pay to watch each race? Is there free content and some pay-for-use content?
There is. I mean, generally 90% of the site is free. All the highlights, all the data, all the photo galleries. In some cases, the live content is $4.95 a month. But in fact, for the criterium race here in Vegas on Thursday night, as well as the UCI Roads, we're making it free. It's kind of like our HBO free weekend, if you will.
Yeah, and so, well, I mean, what will people, when they tune in, I think that there's been some disappointment in the past with web coverage, not by WCSN, but where it's just a static camera that someone's put up at the finish line with no commentary at all. You guys have a different vision than that, don't you?
We really do. I mean, we're bringing in 20 and 25 camera shoots live from Europe. You know, in the case of the race here in Vegas on Thursday night, we've got Bob Roll in the booth. So we're really trying to step it up and bring real talent and bring TV quality production to both WCSN.com as well as our television network.
So as the cycling coverage has grown on WCSN, how have the other sports, the followers of, you know, your badminton fans or your skiing fans, how have they reacted to seeing more cycling on WCSN?
Well, if you look at the group of our sports, we think if you're a cycling fan, you might also be a track and field fan. You know, if you're a swimming fan, you're a diving fan. If you're a diving fan, you might be a gymnastics fan. And so we think there's a lot of crossover in and around sort of these Olympic-style sports.
Well, I really wish you all the luck in the world, and I think everyone out there will be tuning in tomorrow night. What time does the coverage start?
It starts 9 o'clock Eastern time.
Great. Well, we'll certainly hope to see you there, and thank you very much, Carlos.
Thanks. Thanks very much.